Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your girl Keemah.G. Who else would it be? And welcome back to the Keemah.G podcast. If you have not subscribed already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button somewhere down below, wherever it is, and tune into my videos every single week. I always try to do my best to get my videos out on Thursdays. I think Thursday is the best day. People are unwinding from the week and they're preparing for the weekend, and everybody's looking for something to watch or to listen to. So thank you for kicking it with me for this episode, and let's get into the episode. This week, I had an outline for the video that I wanted to share with you guys, and I'm going to share that next week. If I could be transparent, which I'm always going to be, and thank you for letting me be transparent, the video that I had outlined for this week, my spirit wasn't in that frame to be speaking on that topic. I wasn't there. So I said to myself, as I got up this morning, I said, I'm not going to do that because I know that my spirit has to be aligned in a different way for me to deliver that video. So I said, I'm going to freestyle it and I'm going to share something with you guys. And it has to do with pain and heartbreak. For the last 4 years, there has been a lot of good moments. And like life in general, there's been moments that have not been good. And ever since becoming a mother, I have to say my sons, they turn 2 tomorrow. And I'm truly blessed and honored to be their mother. And it's my first time being a mom, so I've never did this journey before. And in these 2 years, it has taught me so much. Just to name a few things it has taught me to be way more patient. It has taught me that motherhood is nothing something to be taken lightly. It has helped me to be way more selfless. I think I was selfless to a good degree, but it has helped me to be even more selfless. Um, it has also allowed me to, really find my voice more as I get older and to really understand my standards and my worth as a mom. Being a mom, I want to make sure that my sons, when they see a woman, that they say, I want to marry someone that has the same qualities as my mom. And I hope and pray that I could be that great demonstration to them on what it is. Now, did everything go my way as planned when I had these children or what I've envisioned? Absolutely not. But what I do know is that God doesn't make mistakes. And like my boy said a long time ago, even if it came in the wrong frame, God always paints the perfect picture. And that's the words that I've held on to in this journey of motherhood that has not been easy. Ooh, I'm a little teary. That hasn't been easy. There has been some moments that have been painful because as a mom, you're extremely vulnerable. And in my situation, there was so many emotions that have come up being a mom. The absence of my mom, the absence of my grandparents. Um, there was a lot of things that came up that I thought maybe, okay, well, I'm good with it, but this is something that I just have to live with. I just didn't know or experience motherhood, so I didn't know these feelings would ever come up. And there was moments when I'm sure every mother could relate where they felt really lonely, you know? Um the heartbreak though, the heartbreak. The heartbreak is something that I said to myself recently. Any heartbreak that I experienced since I've been a mom, I have realized that I'm not going to rush through the pain. Oftentimes, especially I could say in my community, and that is the Black community, we tend to want to put on our cape and be like, I could do everything in the world. And especially as women and Black women, we don't ever get the opportunity to be vulnerable. Um, and I think that's because of how society labeled us. So even in our own relationships, even in our own families, when we share our vulnerable moments, you hear things like, well, everyone has done this before and you're not the first person. And I had to do this and I had to do that. And it takes away from what the person is experiencing at the moment. And in a moment of time when a person's being vulnerable, where they're looking for compassion and empathy, oftentimes it's met with be strong, be strong, be strong. I think I am the example of strength. I had to be strong at a very young age. And from there, I never made it an excuse. I never said, oh, because of this loss, because of this, because of that, it made me a certain type of person. I was raised to do what's right. I was raised to follow my heart. I was raised to love. And those are qualities that I appreciate about myself. But at the same time, I was also raised to be strong all the time. And that allowed me to be less vulnerable. And that allowed me to carry pain for so many years and allow it to show up in different ways, which actually led me to go on this journey. So, as a mother, when I became a mom, I said to myself, I wasn't going to do that. I was going to speak my truth even more. I was going to allow myself to be vulnerable because I want my sons to see a mom that cries and not a mom that always has to figure out, because that's a false example of what a woman is to my sons. I don't want them to go get older and find a woman where she's always strong to the point where he just expects that from her. So he doesn't even recognize when she is hurt or when she is sad or when she's not being heard. I want him to be able to say, you know what, mom, I understand how to meet a woman's needs. I want to be able to see. And that doesn't mean I'm going to be a damsel in distress in front of my sons. No. But they're going to know that mom is resilient, mom is vulnerable, mom is a person, and mom is not just a superwoman. Because a lot of people label, especially Black women, as superwomen. And I don't do this Black card. And I don't do this, oh, poor me thing. I get up, I do what I have to do. But at some point in time in my journey as a mother, I said, I'm going to speak my truth. And that doesn't mean I'm not going to get up and continue moving. That means that you're going to know this is what I'm feeling. You're going to know this is where I'm hurting. You get what I'm saying? And whether people want to judge me, whether people they want to label me for being extra emotional, I will take that. Because like my grandmother said, I'm not going to sit up with it in my head and let it drive me crazy. And the one thing I learned that I want to do is live for my sons. I pray to God every day that I could live till 103, 105. I have an aunt right now, she's gonna be 102. I pray I could live that long, healthy and wise and strong so I could watch my sons grow, because unfortunately, I didn't get that experience from my parents. So sometimes people don't understand you, and that's fine. And what I have learned from this experience as a mom, especially moving forward, it's so important to have people around you that truly understand your heart. So when you're going to them, expressing your concerns about your motherhood, about your journey so far, about where you're going, they could understand. They could listen to understand. They could listen to have compassion. They could listen to have empathy. And they could allow you that space to be vulnerable. And at the same time, they could actually pour life into you. So it could help you to bounce back and to move forward, feeling stronger than when you came to them. That's what I hope. So the thing about pain is that I don't believe in running away from pain. I don't believe that you always have to be like, okay, this is what I went through. Let me put on my cape and let me keep on flying like Superwoman, Superman, and act like I ain't got no feelings, because that's not natural. We were built with these things. I'm not saying to be an emotional baggage or to be like out of control. You know what I'm saying with it? But what I'm saying is that not to harbor those feelings, because they'll fester and they'll show up in different areas. And that's been wrong in a lot of communities, especially my own. And that's the reason why our relationships don't work in our community, especially my own. So the pain is telling us something. The pain, sometimes we have to sit with that pain of heartbreak. We have to sit with those feelings and sit with those emotions and endure them. So, yeah, when your girl comes to you, your boy comes to you, whatever, I'm feeling sad. I'm angry right now. I can understand that. I understand why you're angry. And I know that's the emotion, but a lot of times people try to rush you out of that emotions. And what I'm understanding, most of the time, people try to rush you out of that emotions because they need you to be a certain way in their life. But there's ones that will sit with you while you're in those emotions. They will listen, they will hear you out. You understand? They will allow you that space just to be heard. And I think that's very important. And that's what I've learned as a mom. There's nothing wrong with feeling the pain. There's nothing wrong with going through the heartbreak. What's wrong is trying to run away from those feelings, because those feelings don't leave. Those emotions don't leave. You know what I'm saying? They don't leave until you actually go through them, until you actually work through them. And that's when you fully heal. But oftentimes people are rushing people out, or you feel rushed because that's how you were trained to grow up. That's how you were trained growing up, and you feel rushed. But we don't always have to put on our cape, and we don't always have to be flying high like we're untouchable and things don't phase us, because the reality is there are many broken hearts broken around, walking around here, living every single day unseen. And that's the reason why our mental health rate is so damn high. So I know this is a freestyle video. I do. I know this is a freestyle video. There's no outline to this video. And maybe I just came on here to pour my heart out to you guys, for you guys to take something from this and learn and apply it to your own life. But there's nothing wrong with going through the motions of the pain of heartbreak. It's important, I think, to actually go through it, because not going through it is why so many people are walking around miserable, unhappy, mean, pouring their pain and their anger onto other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and not waking up to understand that you're the issue. You're the reason why you're not getting where you want to go, because you haven't really dealt with the things in your heart that you needed to deal with. So I no longer pretend to be this strong black woman that, I'm not sad, I'm not angry. Listen, when people ask me how I'm doing today, my girl Kathleen called me this morning and I did not want to answer, but that's my girl. And she asked me how I doing, and I told her exactly how I was doing. And we spent 3 hours on the phone. And I told her how I was doing. And it's important for you to surround yourself, take it from me, because all my life I have surrounded myself around people who always looked at me as the therapist, you could say. And I don't mind helping. I love doing that. But when your help and your support and you pouring into others is received, but it's not reciprocated, that's when you have to check your surroundings. You know what I'm saying? That's when you have to check your surroundings, evaluate, and understand, okay, what is it that I'm doing wrong? And what I was doing wrong was I wasn't self prioritizing myself. I wasn't prioritizing myself. I wasn't prioritizing my own emotions, and I was just constantly showing up. And that started from when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, you know what I'm saying? If you always present as the strong person, people are going to assume you're like that. But the moment I started to share and I started to open up, I realized, even though I was sharing, even though I was opening up, this is something I realized on my own healing journey, is that people still weren't hearing me. And the reason why people weren't hearing me is because I conditioned them to treat me like that. I've conditioned them to see me like that. So, of course, they weren't hearing me. And that's when I said to myself, 2017, God showed me very quickly. He said, you need to evaluate everyone around you. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not the same anymore. As you evolve, your close immediate people need to be evolving with you. So there was changes that happened, and it's not because those changes happened because I didn't love those people anymore. No, it didn't happen because of that. But I, no matter what it was, I realized that no matter how much I come to these one or two three people, no matter how much I talk to them, no matter how much I show a vulnerable side that they've probably never seen of Key, they will always and forever still label me as that strong black woman that they tell everything to, that helps fix their problems. You know what I'm saying? That listens to them, but they will never see me for when I'm in pain, I'm in heartbreak, and I just need someone to pour into me. So I said to myself, let's make changes. And those changes didn't come easily. But I now know that my surroundings and the one or two people, I have to say one or two, that I could confine is there. And it doesn't bother me that other people are not. I enjoy the relationships that I have. You know what I'm saying? And I understand my position in people's life. And that's very important too. I wasn't understanding my position in people's life. Now that I've learned my position in people's life, I position myself properly, you know? There's so much more that I want to say on this video, but I guess I'm just gonna make a rant. I don't know. I wouldn't call this a rant. I guess this is just a freestyle. I don't like to rant, sounds negative, but this is just a freestyle. I usually outline, like I said in the beginning, but there's no outline to this. This is just me coming on here, sharing to you a moment this week that I felt was very important to speak on. I wrote about it. You could check it out on www.Keemah.G.com. I'll put the link in the bio, in the description. But there's nothing wrong with pain. And I just encourage you guys to not allow anybody or not feel pressured to escape the pain, because the more we escape the pain is the more it takes, is the longer it takes to heal. And a last thing I want to say about that, I met a lot of people who never go through the pain and sit in that pain, so they live in it for the rest of their life. And or they've been living in it in their life, and it's not a good look. But if you truly have been through a heartbreak, whether that is the loss of a person, the loss or the giving up on a desire that you have, or the loss in the ability to do something, whatever the heartbreak is, sit in those emotions. Allow yourself to feel. Don't allow anybody to rush you out of that stuff. Allow yourself to feel. Don't become what you feel. You know what I'm saying? Be angry, but don't be an angry person. But allow yourself to feel. And the more you go through those emotions, because pain is telling you something, and the more you go inwards, and the more you know what I'm saying, allow yourself to be, is the faster, I wouldn't even say the faster, you'll get to the healing point that you need to get to, so that you will never have to feel the pain of that heartbreak again. Motherhood has taught me to love myself more. It has taught me that I'm worthy. It has taught me that I'm valuable. It has taught me that my heart is very good. It has taught me things that I need to work on, like more patience, you know? Um, and it has taught me how to let go, even when it was hard, for my kids. So I want to say thank you to Israel, Kenneth Balone, and Ezekiel Lloyd Balone. Um, as much as God has given you to me to be your mother, for me to be your mother, you came into my life for the biggest reasons, and I'm truly grateful. So sit in the pain, listen to what the pain is telling you. Don't run away from it. Don't become the pain, the emotions that you feel from the pain. And in due time, you'll get your healing. So I'm gonna leave you guys with that. And happy birthday, my babies. As always, stay fly, stay fabulous, stay focused, stay godly, stay prayed up, stay all the way up, and have yourselves a great day.